Video games!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Railroad Park Gaming Podcast. To my left, I have Andy here sporting a brand spanking new handsome haircut.
Oh, thank you so much.
You look great.
But to the left of me is Eric,
who has not cut his hair in months and looks like a fucking trash fire.
I think you look great, Eric.
Aw.
So, boys, what are we doing here today?
I thought it would be a good idea for us to kind of dive into what got us into gaming, whether it be our first experiences seeing a video game, our first experiences playing one, or getting immersed into one, and anything. Just kind of the ground level of where our love for games kind of...
Oh, you want some backstory?
Yeah, some backstory. A prologue, if you will.
Yeah.
We don't want to regress.
What's sort of our first positive memory attached to video games that we can...
Yeah. Like, I have one in my head that's like...
Do tell.
It might not even be the first time I saw a game, but it's the one that I remember. So I'm going to start there.
Yeah, man, I'm on the carpet. Take me for a ride.
Okay, so I grew up in this area where Railroad Park resides. I'm a Westport boy.
Westport boy!
Yeah. And I had a family friend, or what I believe to be a family friend. I literally could not tell you who this fucking person was. But I have a vivid memory of like the layout of the kitchen and the living room was kind of an open floor plan, and the kitchen was on the left, the living room was on the right.
Oh, so this house was an open world.
Yeah, but I specifically remember first seeing a game called Russian Attack.
Okay.
On the NES, and I guess you were just probably an American soldier. I don't know, fighting off deadly Russians. Yeah. Eric showed me a picture of it right now. It's probably a terrible...
The box art is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a terrible game. I would imagine other people, if they were to pick this game up for the first time as like someone who's played games before, would be like, yeah, this game fucking sucks. But I had a lot of fun with it. It was made by Konami. It came out in 1985.
85? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
At least maybe it came out in a different system in 85. I have no idea.
So this is like your first positive memory associated with video games?
I would like to say my earliest memory from what I can conjure up in my fucking head.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the box art looks great. I need to go seek this game out now. It looks great.
Yeah, it's very bare bones. It's a run and gun, and you can stab people.
Those are my favorite kind of games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like the secret sauce to every Resident Evil, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, Eric, I want to know what games help make the gamer you are today, you.
Me, so...
Yeah, what was your first, earliest memory of a video game?
Yeah, so my earliest memory before I could get my hands to work on the controller was watching my dad play the original Final Fantasy on NES. Wow. I remember seeing that, so right off the rip, I'm already invested in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's some clout, though. Like, mine is some shitty Konami game, and yours is a fucking heavy hitter.
It wasn't the
time.
heavy hitter we know it to be.
Yeah, they were going out of business, and that was their, like, Hail Mary, and it worked.
It was the joke's too easy, never mind.
Yeah, so... You know, when I remember, like, seeing games and, like, looking at these monsters that he was fighting, like, and already being enthralled, like, this is amazing. I can't wait till my brain works. But when it did work, my earliest memory of me actually playing games was every morning, waiting for the bus to preschool, I would try to hammer out as many Super Mario 3 levels as I could.
Nice.
It was like a speed run fucking rush to beat that bus. Like, I got to at least get to the castle. The halfway castle.
Yeah.
Not the whole, like, the world castle, but if I can get to the castle before that bus arrives, I've accomplished something today.
So you're a fucking speedrunner.
I'm not, but at that time, that was the amount of time I had to play. It was like, if I got ready for school fast enough, I had a little bit of time before the bus showed up.
Nice.
And that's how I spent that time.
Yeah.
When'd you come in, Clint? NES?
I mean, I have a lot of very random memories and just like pictures in my brain of early games, but the first sort of solid memory, especially that I contribute in playing these games, not just watching or observing, was Battletoads and Double Dragons.
Hell yeah. Yes.
So we're already at Super Nintendo for this thing, but like, I just loved how animated this game was.
That game's fantastic.
It's fucking hard, so you need a homie to go
How
in.
far have you made it? You make it past
Yeah,
like the second level
I
at
made
the
it.
time?
Oh man, I'm really digging deep for this one. Believe me. I remember it's essentially turning into an asteroids game, where you're in a spaceship, side-scrolling.
Yeah, that's the first level. It's like you're walking on the spaceship.
No. I'm saying like well into the game, you enter a ship. You're piloting the ship.
What the fuck? How'd you make it that far? I get to the.
Is that far?
It's farther than I ever made it. That game's hard.
So
Like,
you get into the ship.
I get into the sewers, and then you get on the little like
the bikes.
The bikes.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But then you get more into the game, and there's the enemies, the women with the whips.
Yeah, once there was a lot of like cage
have to
crawling
row.
and stuff, that was it, man. It was impossible. You're talented.
What can I say, man? I had a lot of blisters back in the day. A lot of blisters, for sure. Yeah, moving on beyond just, memories of gaming, there must have been one or two, whether you were playing it or you beat the thing, you must have felt that feeling. It's like, yo, this is me. Like, my life is fucking different now.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of experience with the NES as a child, and I think it was more passive than anything else. Like, I don't really think anything hooked me on the NES, but I think my first time where games actually hooked me, my grandmother was a gamer, and she had a Super Nintendo. From what I can remember, the two games that I remember her playing a lot were Caesar's Palace, because she fucking loved gambling. So I played a lot of Caesar's Palace, and it was cool. You can like walk around this casino and just choose your table. There was a little ATM machine.
Was there a smoking section?
There was a Keno section, which was pretty great.
I remember that. My dad loved that game too.
Yeah, dude, and I loved it because I think she loved it. And I don't know, I learned how to play certain card games because of it. I don't know, I liked that game.
Yeah.
It was shitty, but I mean, it's one of those games where it's like, if the basic rules are intact, the game is fine.
True.
Like if you can play poker and the rules are there.
That's beautiful, though.
But the main game, and she showed me all the tips and tricks to this, was Super Mario World.
Oh.
And I think that kind of blew the fucking doors wide open for me. Yeah, that game is probably my favorite game of all time.
A lot of fun.
You could start describing stuff in that game and I'll just tear up just because of how important I mean, the game, like, I hope I'm definitely not blinded by nostalgia or love for this game. I mean, it's an absolute banger.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll also, I'm glad that it holds such a special place. And that's what I think really turned me on to gaming and how, I don't know, just how the music is perfect. The artwork is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So someone comes in and they're like, Andy, I picked up donuts for breakfast. You're like, Donut Island.
Yes. But I don't know, the sound design, everything just came together into what made me feel like games were more than I originally thought they were.
Yeah.
Where it was just so cohesive and just a perfect representation of what they wanted to make. And I feel like I have so much I feel like I have so much to say about it, but I also can't articulate.
Yeah.
No, I can't. It's just, it's so special. In my opinion, Mario has never, at least a side-scrolling Mario, has never controlled any better than that game. In my opinion, World is.
That's the first jump to the new generation. Twice as many bits, you know.
Yeah. And I know Mario 64 is like my favorite as well. But I mean,
it's a different thing. It's a
Mario
whole different
World.
Thing. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said there was that line there about sound design, because I feel like that plays a big part in my attachment to games for sure.
Yeah. The castle theme in Mario World is it's fucking up there, dude. It's so good. And just the overworld themes.
How does the overworld theme go again? Good shit, yeah. Just needed, a refresher there.
Yeah, all the secrets, like you get the power
So
blocks.
many secrets,
Oh
dude.
my god. My god.
Why don't we get that shit
Why didn't I
anymore?
talk about that?
Yeah, and I think you're also overlooking the addition of Yoshi.
Oh yeah. Yoshi.
What are you
like
talking
you having
about?
to get certain color Yoshis to complete. It was just a wealth of information. My grandmother showing me that in the ghost house, in the first ghost house that you get to.
Yeah, you need to jump on certain platforms in a certain order, right? Is that what
you
you're getting at?
need to get the cape from another level.
Yep.
Enter with the cape, run as far right as you can, and there are the ghosts moving, and there's a gap in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do is you run as fast as you can to the left, hop up, go on to the ceiling, and you get that secret entrance, and it opens up the top secret area, which then is pretty much a hub for getting whatever item that you want for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And she showed me that, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, that was another big thing that they introduced with that game was there were levels with 2 different exits, I guess.
Yeah, there's the gates. A couple levels have 2 different... Well, there might be one level that has 2 different gates. One of them you have to ditch a Yoshi in midair and then get to the platform below it. And there's another gate. But then a lot of them just have the keyholes. You have to find the key. And then
Oh, yeah, you had to
put it in
carry
a
the
hole.
key across the whole damn level. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, just a lot of secrets.
What a game.
Yeah, it's an incredible game. So what about you, Eric? If it's not Final Fantasy, was there anything else that was just
No,
like...
it did take me a while to, catch up and really learn how to play the Final Fantasy games. But no, there was just one random Christmas. My parents they knew I was into the NES and like games, so they just went and got some games. And I don't think they had any idea what it was. They were just like, this has a cool cover. Sure. And they bought some random game. It was called Vice.
Okay.
Project Doom.
I've never heard of this game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has.
I'm
but
pretty intrigued, though.
This game fucks. It's got everything, dude. It's got everything. Like, it starts as a side-scrolling platformer, which you know is my passion. And yeah, you got your handgun. He also has some grenades you can launch, and he has a fucking katana. So you have all this versatility right out the gate.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah, and it had these amazing fucking like pixelated cutscenes that are like really like drawn out and epic with like, the voicing and everything. But then the next level, boom, now it's like a Spy Hunter like top-down car level. You're driving, you're shooting shit out of the fucking car.
No wonder you love 1980X.
I was just going to bring that up. That kind of probably felt really nice when you played 1980X.
It did.
Wow.
It just
Yeah,
brought you
'cause
back to that.
Yeah, because like that was the first experience I had where like a game could be more than just its one thing, like
When
a
it's
side
one
scroller,
pigeonhole.
or,
Yeah.
or like a racing game. Yeah, this had both.
Wow.
What a game! I still have it, and I still go back and play it occasionally.
And that was NES?
Yeah, it was NES, put out by some company called Sammy. I don't know if they've done anything else, but that game's fantastic.
That sounds dope.
I've never beaten it because it's one of those fucking old NES games with no passwords. You turn it on, and if you
Yeah.
don't beat it, well, try
Start
again
over.
some other day. But man, it's a lot of fun.
That's
And
sick.
it's such a well-made game. It's really cool. It's badass.
So you'd say that was your first one that kind of hooked you? And just,
Yeah, that
like-
was when it definitely clicked. I mean, look at this cover, dude. It looks like Die Hard.
Dude, I feel like I've seen that cover before, but I don't remember this game.
Oh, word.
But yeah, what a game.
So what was yours? Double Dragon Battletoads? The one that kind of really hooked you? Or do you have something that was like monumental to your transition into just being a loser like the rest of us?
Right on. I loved that game a lot, but I had a way better time with other side-scrolling beat-em-ups, like Turtles in Time for
Banger.
SNES was one that really, really was so special in my house.
I would argue that there hasn't been a better beat 'em up made.
I still argue that myself, my man.
That game's perfect.
What are you getting all fucking sour over there for?
Yeah, go ahead.
Say something.
Say it.
So before I get too far ahead, I never had a Super Nintendo that was mine.
Same.
Then shut up.
So I agree with you with Turtles in Time,
Oh,
but I
backpedaling.
had Hyperstone Heist for Genesis, and
Okay.
that was my fucking jam.
Word.
And I think,
All right.
I was doing that little coughing thing, just being real fucking arrogant, because we've
As an
had
aside,
the
for sure.
conversation about. I think we watched we A and B'd some videos online of Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you-
yeah, yeah.
and
I
you-
remember this now. Yeah.
You weren't budging. You were like, nah, man, this doesn't look as good as Turtles in Time. And I'm just like, dude, this looks way better than Turtles in Time. But I think it was just because of the fact that holds such a special place in your heart and this one holds such a special place in mine. You may have thought that the Genesis one was just a port And I told you that it's
we
a
had this
completely different game.
I see. Okay.
They both start, I think, in the same area, and then halfway through the first level, it changes to a complete. They just completely separate
Yes.
into two completely different games.
They both start in Manhattan.
So these are both Ninja Turtle games.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
I forgot
See,
for a
yeah.
second. And I
They
was
came
like,
out
what
at
is
pretty
that?
much the same time,
Okay.
but Turtles in Time didn't come out on Genesis.
Gotcha.
It was
I've never
Hyperstone
had.
Heist.
I've never
was,
had a Sega, so I thought it was like a totally different beat 'em up.
For a
game
second, I thought that
like,
too. Yeah.
No,
Okay. All right.
the whole title sequence is the same, but then it starts off in the same first level, and then it just branches and goes completely different fucking
Weird.
ways.
So that being said, I mean, I was a total Turtles kid when total Turtles kid. Say that fucking 10 times. When I was a kid, that was me. You know, when I was like 5, had a birthday, I got action figures, and that was that.
So do you also have a complex that your pizza never looks as good as the Turtles pizza?
It never does.
That gooey, ooey cheese.
It never does.
Dripping off the slice.
But I also like thin crust, so I never expect that.
Whatever.
Anymore. You know, we grow.
You can't discriminate, dude.
But here's the thing. That game was great, and it holds probably the first really solid special thing for me.
yeah,
but,
I see that.
It wasn't personal like later games were. Like Ninja Turtles, and it was designed this way. You know, you share it with a friend on a couch.
Oh yeah, it's a party game.
Exactly.
But,
You
like,
shred it together.
Me and my best bud would literally every summer sit down and beat that game.
Yeah, it was the best.
an event every
whether it was
all
a
the
family
time.
member, brother, cousin, or just, you know, a homie from elementary school. And actually later for one of my random birthdays, someone projected that and had the Super Nintendo set up. It was perfect. It was perfect.
So who was your main?
Donatello every time.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Every time. Donatello.
He likes the reach.
Yep. I love the reach. His special was the shit. And Donatello is still my favorite turtle. Come at me.
There's nothing wrong with that dude. He's a smart guy.
I'm pretty cliche, but I'm not going to back down. It's Michelangelo. I know that's a lot of
Party
people.
guy.
That's not cliche. I argue
Yeah, I think
to
Raph
anyone
is
who
the
thinks
cliche.
Michelangelo is the bitch, fuck you. Mikey is the man. He is the one keeping morale going. He's the one that brightens up the room. My
I
orange
just love
boy.
I love
is the
orange. So I think I probably originally chose hell yeah.
best. I'm drinking an orange beverage.
Because I like orange. It's a great color. If I don't really have a favorite color, but I like orange. It's nice. It's nice. And he had
See,
nunchucks.
blue has
and,
always been my favorite color.
and he
but
was always
Leo's a bit of a turd.
Mikey was always, I feel like, the most excited about pizza.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was too.
And he had the best puns too. The best jokes
So
always came
relatable.
from him.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm on this dude's fucking level.
And not to mention the movies. We don't talk about the third one, but the first two, Mikey was the fucking best. For sure.
Yeah.
Leo and Raph were always in a fucking bickering thing, but Don and Mikey were always like, they were just on the sidelines being like, yo, pork rind? Yeah, pork rind. But anyway, I didn't want to get too lost in Turtles because I never felt a really deep personal connection to it, because I felt if I were playing that game alone, it was less than.
Yeah, it'd be sad.
Right. It's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, sure.
But the first game I had like a really criminally like deep attachment to was Ocarina of Time.
Wow, late, but great game.
Yeah, I know, it was pretty late.
Like nothing impressed you on the Super Nintendo.
No, it did. I just don't think
Like Link to the Past? No.
I honestly didn't play Link Link to the Past until I was in my double digits by then.
Criminal.
I know.
Oh,
Dude,
I'm
I
even
don't-
more criminal.
I don't
dude.
think my Super Nintendo made it past 2 years of owning that thing because of, again, fucking soda and
And my Super
Chihuahua.
Nintendo came with that game.
what?
I made that up. It came with
Well, you
Super
got
Mario.
us, dude.
It came with Super Mario Bros. But we were given the SNES
All Stars or Super Mario World?
World.
Yeah, because that was the pack-in when it was first launched. was
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Mario World.
It was World.
with
but-
2 controllers.
They also bought like
Bullseye.
Zelda at the same time, so I received both at the same time.
Okay, yeah. So in your head, that was part of the deal.
And I'm saying but it was really my dad. But I played that shit way more.
So should I say this, which might be sacrilege to a lot of people listening,
Oh,
is that I did not play a Zelda game until I was like a late teenager.
That's fine, dude.
That's pretty crazy.
As
because
long as you
I-
played it.
that might
Yes.
cancel us, dude. I don't know.
And I've at the very least played every single one that you can play.
Same.
Well, at least you made up for it.
I have not beaten every single one,
I never
but I
beat,
have played every single one.
I never beat 2, and I have no desire to played to in its entirety. But
nobody
that's
does.
literally it. That's literally it. Every single other game.
I never beat 2, and I never beat the CDI one.
Oh yeah, that's
I
doesn't
played
count.
it with an emulator, but I
Yeah.
obviously didn't, because who the fuck would beat that game?
Well, excuse me, princess.
But yeah, I've beaten every other one.
But Ocarina of Time, it was big. It was really, really fucking big for me.
Yeah, that's some game with emotional weight to it, for
Yeah.
sure. So I could
Yeah.
I could see how that, like, an adventure that big, like Mario 64 was big and grand, but like Zelda had this weight behind it.
It really did. But no, I played Ocarina of Time over a summer. If I was hanging out with friends, it was select few. I didn't see a bunch of kids every day at school, and I had no idea like Link became adult Link. And when that happened, nothing in my life was that crazy ever. And so like I bought the strategy guide. I just fully immersed myself in Zelda 24/7. I think I was probably 7 years old, maybe 8 at the time, 1998. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge thing when I was approaching endgame, like escaping the collapsing castle at the end. The whole fucking family kind of just gathered, and it was like this big monumentous moment.
That's
And
beautiful.
It really was. It really was. I think my dad, if memory serves, he was manning the grill, but came inside and burnt a bunch of steak or something like that because he was
Worth it.
Yeah, hashtag worth it, right? No, it was something. It was something. And when the credits rolled, it was like I felt like I was also done with a massive adventure with Link. You know what I mean? I felt like I was literally there with him the entire time, and it was. You can't compare that to a side-scrolling beat 'em up, unfortunately. But
No, it's
No,
true.
I
That
agree
game's
with you.
massive, and there's so much to it.
yeah. I know. When Zelda fans are discussing like the choice cuts.
Oh, it's a fucking cop out too. Oh, of course you like
Ocarina of Time, but no, you don't understand. Like,
No, it's a classic for a reason.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
didn't just like waltz its way into one of the best reviewed video games of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there for a fucking reason.
But not to mention, anybody who knows me or follows any sort of Instagram, whatever. I have a Majora's Mask tattoo.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the first game I ever bought with my own money, right? That was one of it's a whole other first where like it was one of the first games to ever like haunt me as a small child. So if I were 7 or 8 for Ocarina, I was 8 or 9 for Majora, and that game just like really fucking twisted my brain around. It was like the Twilight Zone Zelda.
There's a different kind of weight in that game.
Oh yeah, that you bear every day. The fucking sound design in that game.
Oh yeah.
I think the music and the sound design is
Just
better.
having side questing completely tied to time and how you can manipulate it was something that blew me away, and not as a kid because I didn't play it as a kid, but as a teenager, just kind of looking back and seeing that a game like this existed on the N64 was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, and still to this day, most games have yet to get on this level of side questing.
Yeah.
Every NPC is fully aware by the end of the third day that they're just gonna die. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot.
Turn my brain into fucking peanut butter, that's for sure.
But it's great because they just use the same engine as Ocarina. So it's not
Same
like
assets,
it's
yep.
not like anything looked darker. It was more just like you talking to NPCs and seeing the moon in the sky, just about to fucking rip you apart.
yeah, and the sound design.
And then you just going back to day one and then just repeating that over and over and over again, just having that dread just weigh on you for however long it takes to beat that game.
I don't like talking about the 3DS remakes. They really bum me out. So I'll just leave it at that. N64 till I fucking die.
Nothing wrong with that. So you jumped ahead of me a bit going to N64, but the biggest title that absolutely blew me away, like it didn't hook me on gaming, but that just really took everything to the next level for me. I got into a lot of RPGs on the SNES, but Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
Chrono Trigger changed everything.
I love you so much, Eric.
Dude, so you play RPGs, you get used to the formula and how things go and whatnot, but Chrono Trigger right off the bat looks different. It looks amazing. The scores are incredible. Characters are great. But what really like changed everything in that game for me was when you get taken to court. You're imprisoned. You're taken to court because they think you kidnapped the princess and whatnot. And they actually go back to a moment in the beginning of the game where she drops her necklace. You got the two characters collide. Her necklace flies off. Your character stands back up and you can control him again. And you can either walk over to the princess and see if she's okay, or you can pick up her necklace, or in any order.
Right.
But it actually pulls your choices from that scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and plays it back.
And plays it back depending on what you did, and they try to hold that against you. So, like, if you... Like, the funniest thing was I just went to the princess to see if she was okay. She lost her necklace. I went and grabbed it, so I was okay. My dad was playing it at the same time as me. They collided. He saw the necklace. He picked it up. He walked over to a merchant and tried to sell it.
Oh, shit.
Couldn't do that. So went to the princess and helped her back on her feet. And they raked him over the coals. They were like, this guy picked up the necklace and tried to sell it off first. And it
What
just...
are you buying? What are you selling? Thank
But
you.
it was the first time in my life where like a choice that I made in the game made a difference.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't like a linear thing that I was set on or some just straightforward path. And it blew me away.
And not to mention, being in RPG land, that's like the only game at the time that you would walk up to an enemy and you wouldn't get washed away by a filter or some
the
sort
battles
of
were
effect
right on.
in battle mode. It's just instantaneous.
Right in the same environment, yeah. And you could also not fight them. You could
Right.
try to maneuver
Yeah.
around them.
There weren't random
and just
encounters, yeah.
move along, yeah.
Did Secret of Mana come after Chrono Trigger?
No, I think that was right before.
Right before? It was a different...
They were
it was
close.
still turn-based in Chrono Trigger. Well, it was like active.
So good. I love Chrono Trigger. I pretty much bought the SNES collector thing to play Super Metroid and Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
Yeah. Andy,
Yes.
hi.
Hi.
Your haircut really does look good.
Thanks. Amanda cut it.
Oh, well, Amanda, you did a great job.
Yeah, I'm
Hope
sure
you're
she'll
listening.
be happy to hear that.
Amanda, help me.
Take me through another title that sort of changed the game for you.
Well, I'm not going to take you through a title, but my first system console that was mine, it was gifted to me by my grandmother because she had an SNES. She didn't want to give me an SNES, so she bought me a Sega Genesis for Christmas or
Ooh.
birthday.
Is Gma still with us?
No,
Your-
she
your Gma was
she
Really
passed
fucking cool.
pretty close to around that time, so that was hard. But she gave me a Genesis, and I have very terrible memory. I don't know what game I got with it, but I know what games I fell in love with.
Echo the Dolphin.
No, I don't think I ever had Echo. I think I played it through an emulator once, but I didn't have it as a kid. I did have Vector Man, and I
Vector
spent
Man
a
was
lot
my
of
shit,
time
dude.
with
I was
Vector
hoping you
Man.
would say that.
Yeah, Vector
one
Man
and two.
and Vector Man 2.
Yes.
Ghouls and Ghosts was very big for me.
Oh.
Because I didn't play, I think it was Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. And
Mm-hmm.
then they kind of rebranded with Ghouls and Ghosts, and it was just the same fucking game, just updated. And what a fucking
Time sink?
difficult game. Like, you beat the game, and then it's just, no, you got to have this power up now, and then play through the whole fucking thing again.
Oh, yeah.
This is how you beat the game. So
how
when you
you
beat it, you
level up.
don't actually beat it. You still got to go through it again. But yeah, like I mentioned in a previous episode, I played a lot of sports games. NHL 94, NHL 96.
Yes. Live for NHL 94.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the best year. I don't care.
Oh, no, it is. It is. And it's
Rest in peace, Kurt
widely
Cobain.
regarded as being probably the best hockey game of all time.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, NBA Jam, like all the Sega bangers.
Boom shakalaka.
Dude, for the longest time, like I grew up playing those SNES NHL games. The only way you can score in that game is one-timers. Like, if you're not fucking setting it up and for a one-timer, you're not scoring. There's no fucking deking the goalie. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not the way it's built. And like, I hadn't played a hockey game for like years and years. And then finally, like, the modern NHL title started coming out for like PS2 or PS3 and whatnot. someone invited me over to play, and I was trying to play the old way. I was like, oh, got to set up the one-timer. And they were just looking at me like, why are you trying to do this? Like, you got a deke button, you can handle the puck, and I'm like, you're not ever going to score that way.
No,
I was pretty on my own as well.
I spent a lot of time with, after my grandmother passed, definitely bonded with my cousin who was a year older than me and my uncle. My uncle's still into video games today. Pretty much every NBA game that comes out, he's all in it, and he'll buy a Grand Theft Auto game when it comes out. Those are kind of his two games that he goes for. Those sports games work perfect for him because you can just pick up, play a game, and then you're done.
Well, maybe he's trying to stimulate, where like he wants to play some b-ball and then go out, get some hookers, and have a fucking time, spend the money, live the life, and then meet you back at the stadium for another round.
Back to Genesis, Mutant League Hockey was pretty big for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever played the
I've
Mutant
heard a
League
lot
games.
about that one, but I never had a Sega.
Yeah.
I never even had friends with Sega, so like my experience with that whole console is none.
There really isn't a lot of great things on Sega, like long-lasting
But
things.
there were some bangers, and I feel like
there
I
are
missed
some
out a
bangers,
bit.
like Shining Force was pretty
Sure.
big. As far as in RPG land, you had Shining Force and you had Phantasy Star.
Yep.
When I got a little older, I did play a little bit through Phantasy Star 4. Still wasn't hooked on RPGs yet.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shining Force. I played a little bit of Shining Force,
Oh,
which
I've got a
is
friend who's
kind of just like
viciously into Shining Force. Billy, this one's for you.
yeah. Shining Force is just Fire Emblem.
So,
Yeah.
so what was the first RPG that hooked you? I'm curious.
Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, yes! How did you know?
Yeah.
Volcano!
How did you know, Andy?
Because you don't stop fucking talking about it.
Ah! Well, how did you know I was going to talk about that today?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, after you were done.
I know you're ready to talk about Legend of Dragoon whenever.
Yeah, I just take that as a given. Like,
I figured, why not stray away from the cop-out, which is Dark Souls, and take it at some real OG bangers for me,
And that skips ahead a bit because I never owned Legend of Dragoon as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time I ever got a chance to actually play it was later on in life. But I don't remember if it was like one of those jam pack discs for PlayStation or Underground. Were they the same thing? PlayStation Underground or Jam Pack? Were they?
yeah,
let's-
they were all
let's
just
make
demo
believe it was the
discs.
same.
Or I don't even know if it was a game that I had that had a secret unlockable demo for Legend of Dragoon.
I miss
But I
those
remember
fucking days.
there was a demo of that game, and I played it a shit ton, and then just kind of forgot about it. Never ended up getting it because I never owned an actual PlayStation that was mine until way later in life when I just wanted to go back and check out titles. But
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for kids these days that don't have demo discs. I feel like that
know.
was a big part of my life.
I know.
Like just being able to play like a level of so many games was almost a game in itself. Because like
there are demos now on like the e-markets and the
some
but
games do
they're
offer
so
demos, but you got to
few
look
in
for them.
between, yeah.
you got to
You know?
sniff them out, though. You
Yeah.
couldn't
You do.
just get like a thing that just had a bunch of things that you would just play because it was exciting.
Yeah,
Like,
like
just be like, have this grid of games and you just get to check them all out. They're all there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go sniff them out.
Upon getting my PS1, all I had was one game, but they came with that beautiful tie-dye swirl demo disc. And holy shit, I must have played one level of Ridge Racer 50 plus times.
Yeah.
I played
Moto?
one level of Jet Moto.
Jet
yes.
Moto is so good.
Over and over. Yeah, that was such a big part of my life was just that fucking demo disc. Yeah, I just feel like kids aren't getting that kind of exposure to so many games at once to see.
I
what
mean,
you
yeah,
like,
I've also
figure out what you like.
also firmly feel like the internet has devalued like a physical game as well, because you can just
Yeah.
download any fucking game you want, and if you don't like it in 10 seconds, it's like the streaming culture in music. Skip. It's like
I think you're right, but I think it also has to do with the fact that there are so many fucking games.
that's true
now.
too. A lot of shovelware.
Because independent development has just skyrocketed since the likes of,
But how cool would it be if like some indie developers came together and put out a fucking demo disc of their games to get like?
One of them did.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, fuck, I forgot what it's fucking called. But someone recently put together a PlayStation 1 demo disc of all original games, small slices, and it's like horror based.
Now that's what
Huh,
I
see,
call
that's so cool.
PlayStation.
It might not all be horror based, but they're all it's not an actual physical PS1 disc, but it's something that you can play like on your computer or something.
And these are all indie games.
yeah, and they're all done in the PlayStation
Wow.
format. So they're all jagged polygons. Like,
okay.
they're all supposed to have that feel of you just putting in some like found demo disc and just experiencing something new.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But I was just saying straight up, like just indie developers coming together to release a demo disc so that you could try out 15 different games at once.
Right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, that'd be so great.
But yeah, The Legend of Dragoon.
Dude, take it away, dude.
You've got the floor.
Oh man, it's the game in which the story really just fucking engrossed me in the whole thing. You know what I mean? Very, very much so character driven. 4 discs. So this game, you're gonna sit with it for quite a bit. Turn-based RPG, very unique battle system as well that I haven't really seen ever again.
Yeah, I would argue one of the best RPG battle systems.
I mean, the game is really slow. It's very slow in all of its mechanics. But I kind of play this game every like fucking 4 years, you know what I mean? Because it's like that much a part of me. And I know people out there play their favorite game every goddamn year, but this one, you need some serious time.
Yeah, 4 discs.
Yeah, this novel would be, you know, up there. It'd probably be like a 600-pager or something if it were a book. I know there is a manga, but it was never translated to English, whatever.
Did not know.
Some of the greatest video game characters, like, around. It's incredible, man. It really is. I mean, Rose, for example.
Yeah.
Her character, I mean, her being the black monster and just...
Wait, what?
You ruined it!
Oh, that's good. I fucking love you, Andy. You know, she wears her choker that keeps her immortal, so she's essentially been around the last 11,000 years of the fucking... since the Dragon campaign, and she's just been killing.
Which is bullshit because she faints in battle.
She's getting tired,
All
you know?
right, all right.
Gotta give it 11,000 years.
I'll take it.
Right? We feel old and we're fucking 30. She's been through a rough time. She kills the fucking Moonchild every time they come around, and that's been like her task. It's a brutal way to live, and I love that they take you through most of the game. First of all, you have no idea, especially being a kid where you can't really indulge in these clues, these subtle things to look out for.
Well, I mean, twists like that in video games have been few and far between up to this point. So
For sure. And then you're led to believe that the black monster is this all engrossing, like negative, terrible evil that needs to be dealt with. End of story. And then when you find out, I think on the end of like the 3rd disc or something, it's just like, wow, holy shit. And then they evolve. Such good character building and fucking Lavitz, obviously. I'm sorry, Lavitz! The voice acting is comically one of the worst fucking things in the world, but it's part of the camp. It's part of the charm. It's what brings me back every time. The sound design, the music. Oh man, I can't.
Just that golden era.
It really is.
and it's
really
just
is.
Harpoon!
Harpoon.
it's such an underappreciated gem. Like it has its fan base that holds it in high regards, but
I think we might be getting a remake.
Blue Point, come on. I know you just did Demon Souls and I can't thank you enough, but please, please.
Crossing all my fingies and toes.
I know Eric might be heartbroken, but don't waste your time with Siphon Filter.
Seriously.
Get on Legend of Dragoon.
Blue Point, you will have full control of my credit card.
And
if you make
Blue
this game.
Point, I know you made a hint to Symphony of the Night. I don't need it. We don't need
Dragoon
There's plenty of Castlevania
kind of
games
needs
out
it.
there.
We don't need that.
There's only one Legend of Dragoon.
Like, and all right, let's talk.
Or if you do Symphony of the Night, just make it so it's a nice, what is it, 16:9 aspect ratio? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Just do that. Make it look nice. I don't need 2.5D. Leave it alone. Don't touch that horrible voice. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Leave it.
maybe make Alucard run a little bit faster, please.
The what?
Make it so Alucard runs a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
But I don't need some full 3D realization of
No,
Symphony of the Night.
no, please.
And I
fuck
don't.
that.
Blue Point. You know what you're doing. I get it.
Yeah, they do.
But what I mean to say is, put Dragoon first.
All right, Dragoon, ready?
first.
Ready for this remake shit? I'm talking. Everything's fairly intact. I want that fucking 60 frames, 4K, HDR. What's this lighting bullshit everyone's freaking out about? Ray tracing. Yes, I want all that. Yes. Hyper real. I want it to look like God of War. All colors, because, I mean, Legend of Dragoon is a very, I think, pulling in the way of color. Every color on screen at all times is pop. And the characters almost resemble like Power Rangers. You know what I mean? They're all assigned to their own color and thing. God of War had this amazing immersive HDR color thing. It just looked incredible. So, same deal. You take me into a battle, random encounters, still turn-based, there's no active time, and it's fucking fast-paced, right? If you've played Lost Odyssey, whenever you tell someone to attack, it almost follows them in a haptic shake cam, and it makes it like really intense, right? So, say if I'm Dart, I'm gonna go double slash fucking commander in the beginning, right? The camera is low to the ground and follows him on the way to go and slice this thing.
Double slash?
Double slash.
Can you say it right?
Double slash! There it is. There's a haptic cam following him. And then you nail the thing. He says the thing. But since we're in fast-paced mode, the enemy has like a really realistic animation. But Homeboy's already on his way to attack you as you're on your way back to your first position. Maybe there isn't even like a steady position. Maybe in real time, your characters are automatically like walking around the battlefield just to make it more cinematic. Yeah, sure. To make it more cinematic for sure. But I'd love if it was still turn-based. We have the fucking...
Where were you when the 7 remake was being made?
Where were you?
This sounds like an incredible way to make a turn-based RPG.
I know.
An old one, like, feel more immersive, but still have that same you go. Like,
Yeah. But now that 7 remake is behind us, we know that
there's no
sucks.
competition for us. We're taking it to Kickstarter.
Ayo.
Me and you, Clinton. Let's go. We're going to design this RPG from the ground up.
I'll direct it. I can't do shit in the way of programming, though.
I can do some pixel art.
I could tell you if I like it or not.
That's what I
So
mean by directing.
that's my role.
I'll be the tastemaker for sure.
Yeah, I'll be QA.
Yeah. But it'd be cool too if even on your menu, you can switch editions. Like, I don't want to have to fucking pause, go down to edition, choose one, go back on the screen. I want the swords to look different. You know, fucking, I want to go from Hashel's double punch to 5-ring shattering in one move. You know what I mean?
It would
Seamless.
be awesome
go.
if they could make the additions maybe have effects on certain enemies, or
That would be
in
really
some
good.
sort of
Yes.
elemental way. So that
Yes.
way, you know, because in the original, you learn a new addition and then that's it. You're pounding this addition for the next fucking
2 hours,
6
3
hours till
yeah.
you learn a new one.
Or maybe even like if you had a winged enemy, Miranda or Shayna can like shoot a limb off or something. Maybe it can be more like include a little Fallout kind of
Oh, a
vibe.
little Vagrant story.
They hinted at it in the hero or champion thing, the competition in the first disc, where they had that archer who would sort of target Dart's limbs and based on where he shot would do some damage. They hinted at it for sure, but I'm like, oh man, they need to take this thing home.
That would be great. I mean, it could even be as simple as like when you choose attack, you then choose which combination you got to do.
Ooh, that's really sick
There you
too.
go.
Yeah. And
Opens
make
it
it
right up.
actually fucking worth turning into a Dragoon Knight. 'Cause,
Yeah, and it would keep it so fresh that
Yeah.
you're not pounding that same combination over and over.
Yeah, it'd be so good. But yeah, one of my favorite games of all time.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Can't
if-
believe I
and
haven't
make
talked
it-
about it yet.
And make it like Chrono Trigger, where everything's on the field, and or even like Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah,
Where like
that's-
anytime
Yeah,
you take
great.
battle,
Yeah.
it's literally where you are. Like even though the screen changes, I don't know if you notice in Dragon Quest 11.
Oh yeah, it's super
You're
quick.
you're right there.
Yes,
Like
I did
even
notice
like
that.
if you're here and
Crumbled House is now there.
it's not
because
just
I'm there
it's
now.
yeah, it's not just one area that looks like the area that you're in. You're actually the battle is taking place in the area where the encounter happens.
Right, it's almost like the
that
quick
would be
flash
fantastic.
on the screen is just to load the new UI, and that's really it.
Yeah.
But I would still like the flash, to be honest, but I think it would be charming if it was still the overhead camera and the characters were almost not mini themselves, but like a smaller ratio of themselves where they have slightly bigger heads, but in 4K.
Yeah, DK mode.
Sure.
Yeah, slight DK mode. So I think the really quick flash to battle mode would be pretty tasty. Not have
just
the
a
really
ni-
slow like
just a nice zoom out, you know? Be all
I don't have
set.
the fucking breath to finish that one.
But yeah, if we could just please combine Legend of Dragoon with Grandia, you would have the greatest fucking battle system of all time.
And like I said, Blue Point, I'll just hand you my credit card. Take however much you want. I have a
Yeah.
great interest rate. I'll pay it up. Future me will worry about it.
Yeah, Blue Point. Let's start a tab.
Eric, I need one more from you, my man.
Sure. It's an obvious one. Final Fantasy VII changed my whole world.
It did for me too.
And-
But let's hear it.
And
Preach,
honestly,
brother.
my world changed even before that because, you know, I had a Super Nintendo. That's what I had. And then these commercials started coming out, which again got like changed my world because I never really saw video game commercials.
Yeah.
And then here was Final Fantasy VII, and I've been playing Final Fantasy my whole fucking life up to this point. Like, and they were all, you know, little pixel sprites, and I loved the way they looked. I didn't have a problem with it. And then here was this massive 3D fucking cinematic game. Just wow, I needed it. Like,
Yeah.
I had to have it.
Yeah.
But it's on the PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation. I'm like 11 or something.
Yeah.
I don't have money either. So I got to figure this out. I need a PlayStation. It costs $150 for one of those.
For a PlayStation?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cheap.
Yeah, it was
I
cheap
mean,
back then.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, it was still way too much for me.
Well, I guess
So-
with inflation, sure, but still.
Sure. But yeah, it was $150 for the PlayStation, $50 for the game. What was I going to do? I had no idea.
Sell drugs.
Yeah. So not from a wealthy family. So, you know, you obviously go straight to dad and you're like, hey, I need this. And he's
And
like,
then, no.
no. Like, yeah, right. But he was like, you know what? I'll tell you what. I bet on football every week. He plays these. He used to go to this like one bar and they would do just a pool, right? That you could come in, put $5 down, and you would just pick teams for that Sunday.
Mhm.
Pick your teams, and there would be a spread. You know, one team has to beat another by 3 points, this and that. So he's like, listen, I'll give you a card. I'll put $5 in for you. Pick your teams. If you win any cash, keep it and try to save up for the PlayStation. So I was like, sure, let's go. I don't watch football. Let's do this. So I pick my teams. I'm like, oh, Panthers and Cardinals? Well, a Panther would win, obviously. So I just check. What's next? Oh, Jets. Those are fast. Whatever. So I went through the whole thing, checked them all off, sent it in. This is completely illegal, by the way. Don't arrest my dad. But so he threw it in. You know, we're watching the games on Sunday. I'm all invested now because I'm like, I got money on this.
Yeah.
I could change. I could win this. And I win one. I win two. I went undefeated. I won.
What?
I picked every single fucking game. The planets aligned, dude. I picked every game correct.
Eric.
And like they had a Monday night tiebreaker. So like, you know, because a lot of people are throwing pools, picking games, and you often get in a tie. And they're like, well, whoever is tied, you pick the Monday night game. You pick your points. See what happens. Fuck that. I already blew them out Sunday, dude. Don't need the tiebreaker. Your boy won.
Wow.
Undefeated. Won the whole fucking thing. So my dad, true to his word, you know, goes in, collects his pool. It's $200.
$200.
The exact amount
Wow.
that I need for a
$150 for the
PlayStation
console and then $50 for the
and
game.
Final Fantasy VII. So he just hands me the money. I said you could keep it. You fucking did the impossible.
You ready for my Andy Audette impression? That's fucking incredible.
That's okay.
So
That story's kind of cool.
All right, so you got the console, you got the game.
yeah, so we drove straight to KB Toy Works.
Did you get a memory card?
Well, yeah, I guess I would have needed one. He must have pitched in. He must have pitched in for that because I had exactly the amount that I needed.
Got your 6 megabytes, you're ready
Got
to
the
go.
PlayStation, got the game. Go back home. I set it up all by myself. I'm so proud, so ready. Peel off the fucking cellophane. Open up that case. No disc. There was no disc.
Neither of the 3?
Nothing. It was an empty jewel case, dude.
Wrapped in
Wrapped,
plastic.
sealed.
That's
wrapped.
fucking incredible.
What?
Yeah. It was.
Where did you buy
What a
this thing
roller
from?
coaster. KB Toy Works, man.
Oh,
And we all know what
Legit.
happened to them.
They went out of business for selling empty cases to kids.
so you went back, obviously.
Sure, we went back. It was a hell of a time, though, because they're like, oh, yeah, you bought a game and then kept the disc, and now you want to return an empty case? That didn't happen. So it was a hard time, but we pulled it off. We got a brand new copy. They exchanged it for me. But what a roller coaster.
That's a great story.
That is a great
It
story.
was a good time. But anyway, yeah, Final Fantasy VII was just so big, so brand new, from the graphics to the story to the characters. There was just so much more to it than all the RPGs in the past that, you know, barely developed characters or didn't have a strong antagonist like Sephiroth,
Yeah.
which was,
Yeah, he
what a
really
game.
is still to this day. So strong. So
And then,
maniacal, so
getting to see
twisted.
your weapon change when you equip a new weapon.
Right? Yeah.
And just everything about that game was just epic.
It shouldn't affect the way I feel about the original, but man, I just have such a deepened sadness even still. Just even hearing the words Final Fantasy VII is almost a trigger now. Why does it have to be like this, guys? Fuck you, Square Enix. As an aside, KB Toys, Christmas 1999. Sure, whatever. Dad takes brother and I to mall.
Get a Dreamcast.
Mall has KB Toys. We go in KB Toys. Split up. I've got $20 to spend as a gift, right? Go find something. And all the Nintendo 64 games in this particular store were behind the counter. So I'm just standing there and looking for a while. So the clerk asks if he can help me with anything. And I just asked him, like, what can I get with $20? And he shows me Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, and NFL Blitz. And I'm like, okay, I need some action in my life. And I chose Turok 2. So he's cashing me out. I give him the $20. He puts both games in the bag and he hands it to me and just says, Merry Christmas.
What a guy.
I will never forget that. I've told this story to so many people.
Yeah, that's a great story.
That's
special.
Never forget it.
That
And I mean,
probably just some-
little did I know, I just thought NFL Blitz was another sports game. I wasn't into sports as a kid. Still am not. But NFL Blitz was like the ultimate fucking banger.
Yeah, tons of fun.
So
but even that,
it was
just
a
the
good one,
sentiment
yeah.
behind it, that's awesome.
It was so good.
Even though it was probably some teen that knew he was going to get fired that day and was like, you know what, fucking here, have them both.
Well, yeah. I mean, fuck the corporate man anyway,
Yeah.
so good on him. Give away all your shit to kids who need it. KB Toys, pour one out.
Rip.
So let's do something that I don't know. We didn't talk about this prior, but if you had to choose a top 5, rattle them off.
Right.
You're talking top 5
All
ever?
time. I feel like to wrap
Just-
this whole thing up, we could just do this on the fly. Just
Favorite top 5
first
games.
first
Wow.
5 that come to mind that were super important to you.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got this. Is it cool if I put Ocarina of Time and Majora in one?
Oh yeah.
Cool. We'll do that. We're going to do Dragoon, obviously. We're going to do Dark Souls.
I thought you were gonna say Dark Cloud. I was like, "Ooh, that's high praise, man. It's high praise."
Dude, I do love Dark Cloud.
Yeah, but I wouldn't see it in your top 5 though.
It might be in my top 20, not my top 5.
I could see that. Yeah.
Not my top 5. Dark Souls, let's encompass all of it too, because I think the side B of the first Dark Souls is absolute trash.
That's
Anyway, you kill Ornstein and Smo, and the game just fucking almost crumbles a little
wait,
bit.
what? No, I'm sorry.
What?
All right, so that's 3.
That's 3. I like this putting on the spot business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get a chance to overthink it. I literally don't even know what I'm going to say in this. So,
Someone take it from me while I keep thinking. We'll rotate again. Go.
for me, I probably number 1, Super Mario World. Number 2, Metal Gear Solid. 3, Dark Souls.
Good man.
Let's move it over to Eric.
3's easy. 5's tough.
Give me 3.
Well, Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger, Space War. It's
Oh man.
jeez, that's such a huge question. There's so
Let's bring it back to Seatown.
Hollow Knight.
Oh,
really best of all time.
I wasn't being hyperbolic in that previous episode. That's the greatest Metroidvania game ever made.
All right, now bring it to me for number 4, Fez.
Woo!
Fez.
Phil, there you go, bud.
There you go, Phil
I'm gonna
Fish.
take you. I'm gonna take you to number 5, The Witness. Top 5.
Really?
That game, I think. This is gonna sound very pretentious.
We got Jonathan
I'm
Blow
sorry.
and Phil Fish in this top
I know,
5.
I know.
It's great.
Super pretentious. I think that game is so important for video games because more than anyone I've ever played, it's like, yo, you think you know what a video game is? The most philosophical experience you've ever had coming at you, bud. Here you go.
So pretentious.
I know. Just let me have the moment for a little bit. All right. I'm not a pretentious person. Just give it to me. All right. We need number 5 from you.
No, we need number 4 from Eric.
Oh shit.
See, you're at 5.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
you're
exhaling.
set. Oh, duh. Mega Man 0.
Hell yeah.
Fire. Fucking incredible level design. Just the best fucking platformer you'll ever play.
Oh, the 5th one is tough, man.
Breath of the Wild.
No, I can't do that. It's got to be a Zelda game, though. It has to be.
You can.
You know what? This is on the fly. Wind Waker.
Wind Waker's great. It's just for the fucking babies, though.
No, I agree. It's super fucking easy. Probably
That's
probably
my-
the easiest Zelda game. But
Yeah, that's my only gripe with the thing.
god damn, the items you get in that game. the way it looks, it's so fucking timeless.
Oozes
The
charm.
soundtrack is so good.
The theme for Onset Island might actually be the brightest, happiest piece of music ever composed. Boo-da-boop-boop-boom. Boo-da-da-ba-ba-da-dum. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da.
Or just the main theme.
So skippy and like, I just want to like play a pan flute, you know?
Yeah, it's such a happy game. It has its problems, but I mean, because I did play Zelda pretty late, probably the biggest grin I've had on my face aside from Breath of the Wild was Wind Waker. Because
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
It's
That
just-
game is, oh man,
it's fucking gorgeous.
it is such a,
And it's got that tedious Triforce Peace quest at the end, but they kind of fixed that with the HD remake, which was an absolute blast
and
to play.
the Swift Sail.
Yeah, Swift Sail.
Godsend.
Wait, we didn't get a 5 from you.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Power Rapper the Rapper. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yes! I hope that's serious because
I
that's
can't
fucking
tell if
awesome.
you're being serious.
It's not serious at all. Sorry, Andy.
So what's 5?
All right, no, I'm going to change out Wind Waker. Glover.
Yeah, Croc 2.
Clover.
Glover. Yep.
You haven't named any indie games, and I find that surprising of you.
Well, it's just when you say like all time,
I know.
you know, it's
Well,
tough,
this
especially to
is
take
also-
like a newer game to put ahead of some of those games that were groundbreaking.
And I also just blindsided you guys with this.
Of course.
So it's like if you were to ask me next week my top 5, it's going to differ slightly. For sure.
Yeah, if I'm in a fucking side-scrolling mood, the Donkey Kong Country series every time, for sure. But, you know, with more time to think of it, we could compose something. But this was
Yeah, I could have
tough.
put Dawn of Sorrow in there because my favorite Castlevania game.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, I was trying to pick a Metroid, but I was like, well, I did platformer with Mega Man Zero, but I feel like I get a lot of heat. I really enjoyed Metroid Fusion.
Oh,
It was
dude,
fucking
no,
blast.
Hey guys,
He's been waiting outside the door, all staring into the booth.
so as I look to my right here, Kyle has just been looming through the glass.
Waiting for his turn.
Yeah, so I think it's time for KT's hypotheses.
Oh, shit.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Kyle. Welcome.
Thanks.
So if you guys aren't familiar with KT's hypotheses, we did it in a couple episodes prior, but pretty much we just give Kyle these 2 existing game titles and he doesn't fucking know anything about them because he hates video games and I'm pretty convinced that he hates us. So yeah,
Not
we
gonna
kind of just
disagree.
we let him just fucking use his imagination to create a video game because he doesn't know what any of these are and he's an adult and he doesn't need to know. I'm not knocking Kyle right now. This is me just self-deprecating
Yeah,
about how I'm a fucking loser.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So what did we give him this week?
Well, first on the list, first game was Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami. So I'm thinking Hotline Miami starts with an epic prologue. I think I've seen some video games do that before.
Oh, how appropriate, because this is actually the prologue episode for us.
Oh, cool. Anyway,
Yeah, no, you're right.
yeah.
There are a lot
Yeah.
of games that have like prologues and
Okay.
Yeah.
So the prologue. Waves of arpeggiated synthesizer chords crash against the coastline as flocks of neon string bikinis flood the beaches, all worn uncomfortably high, stretching over the belly buttons of Miami's hottest chicks. It's 1979, and you're a bubblegum chewing, pinball playing putz, smoking the bad grass. Life was bitchin' before you heard the tragic news. Your old man was headed to the store to buy your kid brother a new Stretch Armstrong gel-filled action figure. When he was hit by a stray bullet in downtown Miami's ruthless drug war. A steady electronic kick drum leads off a montage as you prepare for vengeance. As the mid-'80s approach, you are now a gunslinging, cigarette-smoking, car-stealing, 8-bit badass. ready to wreak havoc on the cocaine-toting gangsters whose reckless pursuit of power snuffed out your dad's life. Hit start and kill as many of the bad guys and bosses as you can. You are the war on drugs. And I'm thinking like sort of a Contra vibe. So I liked Contra, you know, when I was a little lad.
yeah, it's a
I
classic.
played-
It's a
played
classic
that
game.
Yeah. That's my
Dude,
guess.
you are pretty fucking close. Not
Yeah.
being sarcastic.
Really?
That's wild.
It is a super violent game where you're this unnamed protagonist, and it's lots of synthesizers, lots of. It
and
is kind of 8-bit, somewhere in between 8 and 16.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
And he's receiving messages to go on these hits to like massacre a bunch of Russian mobsters, basically.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty close. It wasn't made back then, though. This is a fairly new game, but it's made
But done in the retro fashion, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a hyper-violent game with the neon aesthetic. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
well
fucking
done.
close.
Cool.
Not bad, Kyle.
I'm getting good at this.
I don't want you to get too good at it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. My explanation of the next game, the title that you'd given me, is kind of short.
Oh, that's fine.
Eric, what's that game?
Celeste.
So,
A favorite of mine. What a game.
my goodness.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's a very good game.
So, Kyle, take us through your Celeste.
Well, I think you game fuel drinking nerds know that this game is obviously about those little pizzas you put in a fucking toaster oven.
What else would it be?
Because y'all too busy fucking around playing video games when you could have been learning, how to cook.
Culinary skills.
Yes. Celeste. It's pizza. Duh.
No set, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what I expected.
Yeah, I think we walked into that one, guys.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I expected some pizza reference because what else?
Yeah, I mean, what is a Celeste? I mean, is that a word? Like, the fuck
Well, in the game, it's a mountain.
is it?
Yeah.
But what is it in life aside from pizza?
I honestly don't know.
You know what I mean?
Like, what is the word?
Well, celestial has to do with the moon.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's about as close as we're gonna get, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess you're right. It's just pizza. What else? What else?
Yeah.
But yeah, believe it or not, this game is about a girl who is fighting her inner demons with depression and loneliness, and is climbing a
Is
mountain.
she a gamer?
Doesn't say.
That would be really meta.
But yeah, it's actually a very intense story about depression.
Interesting.
Yeah, she overcomes her anxiety and depression by climbing this mountain and pushing herself through.
And what do you have to do as a player?
It's a platformer game, so it's
don't know
just
what that
a lot
means.
of jumping on platforms.
Oh, okay.
And-
Literal. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it's just a lot of challenges as to like jumping on platforms and dodging things, don't fall on the spikes kind of deal.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the whole time she's kind of just fighting her own, like, it's almost like there's a little bit of, like, her anxiety and depression manifests itself into a dark version of herself that's kind of berating her and beating her down the entire time.
Yeah,
And it's
chasing her up the mountain.
It's a very good story about just the inner demons that people face, and it's I've never seen a game in that fashion kind of tackle that before, and it was pretty moving.
Yeah.
It has
I don't
nothing
know
to
much
do
about
with-
games, but I've never heard of a game like that. To
Yeah,
be
but it
honest.
has nothing to do with the perfect crumb you get when you microwave a Celeste pizza at exactly 4 minutes.
Wait, I don't think you get any crumbs when you microwave a Celeste pizza.
That's not true. They give you this little disc below your pizza
Oh yeah, the little yeah. I
in
stand
like hot
corrected.
pocket fashion. You know what I mean?
Oh
They
yeah.
figured it out.
I mean, no, I've microwaved my fair share of Celeste pizzas. I just don't remember them being crispy. I put them in the oven before too.
Yeah.
And
It's a much
toaster
better
oven, right?
I didn't grow up buying DiGiorno. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's not delivery.
Yeah,
Well, that
because
was a lot
delivery is
quicker.
better.
That was a lot quicker than I
Yeah,
think
short and sweet.
Yeah.
we anticipated, and that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So if we still have time, the votes are in, everybody, from the Game Hall of Fame 2020. And Eric's got his phone ready to go. Let's
I do. I've got the results.
get some reactions, huh?
Sure. So out of the 12 games that we reviewed in our previous episode that were up for nomination, they've inducted 4 of these games.
All right, word.
So the final inducted in the 2020 Hall of Fame are Bejeweled. You saw it coming, right?
No surprise. I think he said like 500 mil.
Oh yeah.
You can't with a number
Yeah,
like
you can't
that.
argue it. It's on everybody's phone.
I mean, Kyle, I'm sure you've probably heard of Bejeweled, right? It's a mobile
It's a
game.
phone game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Tetris with jewels or something.
Yeah,
sort of
pretty much.
along
Yeah.
those lines.
You
Like-
get it, yeah.
Yeah, it's what Candy Crush is based on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So they
just-
won an award?
They're in the Hall of Fame. They're in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they got inducted this year.
this week.
Yeah. So the other one, another obvious title, Centipede. I know that we
Wow.
don't really care about the game or whatnot,
That's a
but
classic, right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you see it in every arcade.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
been around
familiar
forever.
with that game. Yeah.
Well, if Kyle's familiar with it, then it definitely deserves to be in.
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's right.
it's definitely well known.
Yeah.
That's like the Gallagher era, right? Like those games and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that game.
Yeah, smashing
Exactly.
watermelons.
Asteroids.
Yep. So yeah, it's a classic. I know we're not impressed with it, but it definitely earned its space. The other one is
Space War!
that's right. It got inducted twice. Such an incredible, groundbreaking game. But the really number 3 spot goes to King's Quest.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we're not.
It's some fucking PC.
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
listening to
Adventure
this?
game.
We don't know King's Quest.
Yeah.
And then the last spot goes to Minecraft.
Okay.
Yep. So Minecraft and King's Quest beat
That's
out.
that's another PC game, right? With the numbers.
I think it is on.
Just like
P-
click on
it's
the number
all
and hope
platforms
that
now.
you don't hit the.
No,
Oh, that's Minesweeper.
Oh, okay.
Minesweeper. Yeah. But yeah, so it beat out GoldenEye and Uncharted and
Yeah, in my
Guitar
opinion, I
Hero.
mean, sure. Yeah, they all
Fine.
are very important, I guess. I don't really know much about King's Quest. I think we're all a little too young.
So yeah, so maybe some underwhelming results, but them the breaks.
Underwhelming for us, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
Not GoldenEye this year. Not
GoldenEye isn't in there.
it was
It was nominated this year,
Yeah.
Wow.
but
not Super
not
Smash
not
Brothers.
NBA Jam.
no dice.
Yeah, that
beat
was a
out
big
Jam.
surprise, to be honest. Considering it grossed $1 billion before it hit home consoles.
Yeah, the revenue that it generated in quarters alone, I think, earns it a spot.
Good
Yeah, I
shit,
think-
y'all.
What?
Good shit, y'all.
I thought you said eat shit.
Eat shit, y'all. That's the end of the episode.
I think that about wraps it up here today. So eat shit.
Yeah, eat shit.
Eat shit.